Hey there, Boots Owen here. This is the big Miele, the Miele Professional. I can't remember what model it is. It'll be written somewhere. We'll have a look for it. It's massive. Most machines, washing machines or tumble dryers, are 600 mil wide, 60 centimeters, 2 foot wide. This is 750 wide. It's taller than the other machines as well. It spent a hard life, I don't know where, and then it wound up in a hostel down in Wales. When I got it, it was in a cellar and leaking. Got it home and it had leaks everywhere. It was leaking here, and you can see I've made up my own hose clips out of bits of twisted wire and hose clips and with pipes inside and all this to try and get it back to going. And I did, and we've seen videos of it working, and it does work. However, where are we at now? Let's go down here and have a look. It was leaking down there, and it was leaking from that where it fits on, because it has a sluice. This one, you can see I've made a wire twist up there. It has a sluice out, so instead of pumping out like a washing machine typically does, it opens a sluice. I don't want to push that now in case there's water in it actually. There's a little motor under that white cover, and it pushes this lever down, and that lever pushes this cable, and that cable pulls a plug basically in the bottom, and that lets water down that black pipe going out that grey hose out the back. And what that means is that you have to have a waist below the height of the water. Now you can see how rusty it is. This machine must have been leaking for years. You have to have your waste pipe below the level of the machine, but most washing machines have a pump that draws the water up to the top and out the back somewhere. So this machine, because I want to use it in a cellar where I am, and because I want to torment myself, what I'm going to do is disconnect these traps down here and replace them with some parts that I've gotten from another Miele. So this is from a Miele, I can't remember, let's have a look. I think the front was over here. Stuff everywhere again. I've been moving stuff around because this project has been on the cards for a long time. No, there's no name on that. I don't know what machine this has come off, but I had another Miele. It was the one that was up in Tim's house, and I managed to drop something through the glass door, and basically at that point it was ruined. So I stripped all the parts off it, and I'm going to see if I can get this to fit here, this pump. And if it'll fit, then I wonder, will the sump hose go across to the sump? And if it does, then it should all work out. The reason that they have this sluice, this is this RAS approved thing. If you're using it in a place like a care home or a hospital, what can happen is that people can do a lot of poo on their bedding, and they don't really want that poo water to sit in the bottom. So it's seen as being a cleaner process if all of the water just rinses straight out of it. I think that's the logic behind the sluice. Me, I don't really care. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for. It was having an issue actually, and I hope it's gone away, but whenever you set it to start, it kept running through times or something, so you had to kind of catch it. So I don't know, is there something wrong with the board? Although I'd say it's something wrong with, they're locking in, that's door. I think that's on, but it's not latching. That's no spin. That's a pre-wash, I think. There was something you had to do to kind of catch it when the time was right, otherwise it would have like a huge time delay on it. I think it was something like that. Right, the best side of it looks a bit bent there. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't remember that being an issue before. I'll just start taking bits off it. I'll see how I go. So to say that this machine is past its best would be something of an understatement. It's done 1,000,000 hours, I would say. It's got 8 screws around here holding on this grey fascia. Normally a machine has like a rubber gasket between the inner drum and the outside. This one, the whole of the inside can wobble around, and this bit of plastic here stops you getting your fingers trapped, and there's like a rubber seal that goes over this, but it doesn't really, the inside can move completely independently of the outside. So if I take off all of the outside, the machine still sits up. It's not suspended like other machines. It sits up on these 4 shock absorbers, and they're knackered too. That one's kind of looking chromy, but the one over here that was spent all its life in the rain from the inlet leaking, it looks a bit knackered. I also got a new inlet hose as well from the other machine, so I wonder should I fit that, because the one that's on it is so crusty, so wrecked. It kind of beggars belief that it's still hanging on here. I started to take off the side here as well, and I don't know if I should have or not. Right off. Because it means everything's loose then over there, especially this water fill side. Okay, now put that in there. Also, remember the door was extremely hard to close. 3 elements on it. It's a 3-phase machine. This one says good. This one says dead, but this is the one that's wired in. So I don't know what I've done. That one's bodged up with silicone. That one's got a good seal on it, but no wire to it. I've got the wires plugged out. And the reason for that is because it'll draw, I think, I don't know, 6 kilowatts or something if 3 elements are on. It's a little bit much for a domestic supply. It's been set to run at, I think, 30 amps or 32 amps, but I can run it by disconnecting the elements. It'll just run on a 13 amp plug without any bother. Now, that's your door override string, so I need to kind of remember that. This is held on with a screw down here, just one by the looks of things. It looks like it should have 2, but it's only got 1, so let's take that off and see. What I need to see is, will the other one fit in its place, really? And if it does, will it reach up and be the right size? I kind of think it will. I'm not sure, but it has the right slot in the top and the right thing on it for the... Yeah, I think it might do. Wait, what's this? There's another screw up there. 2 screws, 1 screw, okay. Right. That's that bit of plastic out of the way. Now what have we got here? They have... Oh dear, they're crusty. That's crusty, alright. Cover here I can have a look under. Let's see what's in here. So that's a little motor. The machine isn't live. Should have said that. There's a screw here. So a couple of screws might get this off. What's holding that in? Another screw in behind. And, oh man, a connector block there. A chocolate block. Wonder why that's there. So how would I get this off? I'll give it a bit of a brush maybe. Yeah, it's only held on with 2 screws, so that's a start. Just push it out of the way. It's coming out. Is it? Yeah, it seems to be. Hiding. There. I'm guessing there's no water in it, but we'll also find out eventually. That's it, loose now. Okay, so it's like it's sliding on something or stuck into something. There we go. Don't know what. Quite heavy. Don't know where the screw's gone for it either now. Just falling down there. Quite a heavy little Miele motor. Right, I've got spade connectors here. Let's get them off. It's a little shaded pole induction motor, I think. And an earth. Right, that clips up there, so that's that out as a start. This could all stand to be washed as well. Put that wire up out of the way for now and figure out what I'm doing in here. So that old hose pipe can all come out, I'm guessing. Maybe I'll just leave it there for now. Let's see if this new thing, how it might fit, because it's really not meant to be in here, but it does look like it'll do actually. So it's got 2 screws. It's got 3 hoses on it, which I'm not entirely sure about. So it looks like that'll wiggle in there all right. I'll get that hose out of the way. That should fit. I have to get this piece of metal out of the way too, this bracket. And it has not been out in a while. There we go. What's weird about this machine is that even though the screws are all really bad on it, like that one, they do all come off. It's quite strange. Okay. I think there's really only one hose clip in here. Oh, up on top, flat blade. Forgot one. That's it. That's off. Right, this one. Oops. This one. Go. So that's all that sump and paraphernalia sorted out of there. Right. That hose I think can just stay for now. I'm going to put the vacuum in here to tidy it. That clip can stay because it doesn't really hurt anyone, from what I can tell. Yeah, let's vacuum it out and see how it looks in a moment. I kind of think that one has its ball in. I think this should just fit. Then the question is about the rest of the stuff, but let's see. Because there's a pipe there. So this should all just fit in here. But it's got various hoses and pipes and stuff, which I don't know if I understand. Oh, and it's got a different connector on the back, of course. Of course it does. Let's see, how would they fit Yeah, actually they should just fit. So let's connect them first. It's just got 2 spade connectors and they'll just go onto the 2 connectors. It's got an earth, but well, earth is an earth, it doesn't have to be connected. So that, I didn't really take any of this stuff off, so it's all, should just all be ready to go. Now, I think there's meant to be like a plate or something across the front of these. I don't know, because how would that go? Like that? Something's not right there. Oh, it's meant to hook onto, no, okay, so we haven't got the right thing here. It's meant to hook into something at the back and then screw on. How am I stuck on there? Oh, that pipe behind is in my way. There we go. Piece of push fit. Out you come. I might have to jig up something here. Like a pump isn't going to vibrate, so if there's a piece of metal across there, is that in the right place? Let's see. Looks about right. I'm going to say it is. Kind of makes sense that those holes are there for a reason. Sometimes it pays to keep everything. In the bucket of spares, there was this guy. I think that's what this does. I think it just goes on here as a little plate to locate this guy. I think that's what it is. Not sure. Looks about right. This one has this little faucet that you can open this guy halfway and then pull this out. There's a little faucet to get in there. Right then, can I refit this sump in here? What I would like to do is pull that hose clip, just a wire clip, pull it over onto the other side so that I can tighten it the other way around. Gives me a little bit more access. This is all sticky, like if they've used a glue or something on it. So looking in here, just giving that a wipe there, this should just wriggle up and snug on. Easier said than done. I think it's a two-hand job though. Put a bit of the typical lubricant on it. I'm sure that's razor sharp as well. That seems better actually. Yep, it's just gone click on. So that's the pump installed, I would say. My issue now is that I've got this hose and this hose, two hoses. I don't remember where they went at all. I really can't remember at all. I think, does that one go up to the soap drawer as like an overflow? I don't remember. I don't think it's a recirculation. I can't remember what that's about. This one goes to this plastic thing. So quite bizarrely, there's this plastic thing on the back. And the hose goes into this plastic thing, then kind of gurgles up here, and then it's got this thing on top. I don't know what that does. I don't know. I don't think that's meant to be connected to that. I can't remember at all. This is normally attached to the back of the washing machine, but in this case it won't be. And then down at the bottom is where the water comes out into, I think, this hose. So I'm going to have to maybe secure this plastic thing onto the back, make an extension for this black hose because it's clearly not long enough. If I cut it in the center and get a piece of plastic pipe into it, that'll withstand high temperatures. A bit of standard waste pipe should do it. And then I think this one goes onto the bottom or the other end. That looks like the outlet, really. It's so grotty. There's another washing machine hose here. I don't know where that came from, but it's too small, I would say. Yeah, judging by that angle there, I'd say that goes on here, but that's just a guess. And judging by this angle, this goes on here. Now we're missing a hose clip for that, so it's probably in here in the bucket of tricks. No, I don't see it. Not a great sign. Hose clip. Yeah. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so the hose clip's on it. That's a good place for it to be. The other option, no, I don't. I think it really does need to be on the back of the machine. The other thing this machine has is this like second soap drawer. If you look in there, it just goes the whole way in, and the water kind of rushes from the top down to here and then down to here. Doesn't make any sense to me what that's about. I think it's some machines could have had a soap drawer here, but this one doesn't, so it has this intermediate thing. And then I wonder, in a smaller machine, this pipe here, I think maybe would go to here as like a soap overflow thing to the pump. I'm not sure though. I think that's what it is. So if I just tape it up and hold it on, maybe just put a plug in it, because they're not worried about that overfilling somehow. I guess it all ends up in the same place anyways. So cut this, extend it, find a way to fit that to the back of the machine. Okay. Maybe I'm just being silly. Maybe it's a waste of time fitting this thing, and maybe what I should do is just take that black rubber hose off and fit the waste pipe straight onto here if it'll fit, because then there's no messing around. I can have that going straight down through that hole at the back and out. No messing. I don't know what that thing is for on the back, that extra plastic thing. If you know, tell me in the comments. Yeah, looks like this might fit. Now this fellow really does need to be clipped up. This hose here really does need to be clipped up out of the way somehow. or blocked off. In fact, it's full of stuff, bizarrely. I don't know if you can see, you can't see down there, but it's blocked up with stuff. Don't know what. Like fluff. So that's just going out the back, and this one here, cable tied on here. Put a cable tie around there, and then a cable tie through a cable tie, bringing it up, and then loosely cable tied on here. I have a piece of hose, a proper Miele one, that would go all the way from here all the way up to here, but I really don't understand what this plastic thing is for. And it seems to hold up, like basically this holds onto the side of the machine, and then that holds on. It seems to hold the bit up on top in place, maybe, I don't know. There's nothing else. This is just suspended into this, and there's 2 screws at the back that kind of hold it on, but really it just sits there with 6 water hoses going into the back of it. It's mental. I don't know. Right. Okay. I'll put the side back on. I'll put it in position, and I guess we'll turn it on for a rinse maybe. So I've moved it up onto the step beside the sink. I've kind of bunged this pipe into the hose because the hose wasn't long enough to reach up this high. I'm not sure why. I think typically it would be at the back of the machine and would just be enough to reach up kind of as high as the machine or something, maybe. So I've got 2 cold feeds coming from here. I've got 1 hot feed coming from here. They're all on. Let's switch it on. At the mains, we've got a light up here, 20. I don't know what that means. Temperature. It looks like a pre-wash button. That looks like a, oh right, starch button. I don't know what starch is. No spin. That's a start button. It's supposed to unlock the door. I don't know. It's up here. Right, so let's set it to, what can I set it to? I don't know. Sluice, separate spin. If I set it to spin, HG. I don't know why it's taking on water, and I also can't see where the water's going there. So it's on separate spin, 20 degrees. I kind of need this guy to be up, because I need to see if I'm going to leak. Any drips? Not yet. Kind of anticipating a drip. Something good so far. Oh, something looks drippy there. I don't know. This fellow used to leak, but maybe it'll be okay. The water's rising in there. I don't know, is it stuck in a program from before? Oh, okay, so we're turning. It's a success. I'm not sure how you choose between the clock. I would like the countdown clock. No spin. I don't know. There's an old pillowcase rag in there. Oh, I should really tie that on, shouldn't I? In case that collapses. It's still filling with water. Like it's right up on the door there. Looks dry beneath. Oh, now it's pumping. Kind of want to be careful here because don't really want this one to pop out. Should really have a hose clip or something on it. I think it's on there well enough and it's not leaking. It's pumping out quite well. You can't see that. It's doing okay there. It's taking a lot of snots out of the pipe by the looks of things. Those little bits of scaly goo. More water. What is it doing? So it seems to be all on cold, but it's not. I'm guessing there to activate water into the soap drawers. Maybe these ones are siphons. So is it all coming in through the cold? It's like a cold sluice fill, and then 4, depending on the program, for these different soaps and conditioners. CL is bleach, I think. That's the main wash. That's your pre-wash, and that's fabric softener, maybe. It's not on the icons here. Got some kind of bubbles in there. The whole thing about this machine is that it runs quite quickly. So it uses a lot of water, but it gets the wash done quickly. Look, it's up on the door level there now, nearly. It's in G, it's in separate spin, but I don't know, is that like a washing cycle? Separate drain? Don't know, we've clicked onto something else there. Just agitating now. Oh, we've just stopped the inlet valve. So what it isn't doing what it was doing before, where it would do some time thing and you had to kind of catch it to start it. It stopped doing that, whatever that was. Around the back, it has this interesting pipe that goes to the drum. It's just a hole to the drum. Not sure what it's for. I don't know. It's got a flexible hose from there to the drum. It seems to have like a pretty... It's only spinning one way, but it seems to give a back and forth agitation. No, it's not. It's tumbling all right. You see there where I've used some round silicone to try and budge up the leaks. Likewise down on the elements there. It looks good and dry underneath still, which is positive. It's all a bit of a gallery, this. Or maybe how it used to go was, it would be in a program. It looks like we're in a pre-wash here. It would be in a program. It would try to achieve a temperature, and then once it had achieved the temperature, it would start the timer. But I'm not sure if we got temperatures on there or what. It could also be that the knob is in the wrong place, but I don't know. The selector there. Oh, it's pumping out again. So it really does only run like that. That whole rinse or wash was only for, well, it must have been a rinse. It was only for a few minutes, like 3 or 4. It still has bubbles in it though, which is a bit bizarre. So it stopped draining even though it's still full of water, which is a bit peculiar. So maybe it expects that it would drain faster with the sluice, but I thought that would have been done based on pressure. Let me take that plug out of the water. Don't know. Temperatures come up. It's got bubbles in it from somewhere. I have no idea. It doesn't feel hotter, but it's just the top. So I wonder if there's an element running on it. I could have put a power meter on it, but I didn't. I have no idea what it's doing. G is meant to be separate spin, which I would have said was a spin. I don't know. I don't know. It looks like we've got a bit of moisture here coming from, let's say, that element, but I don't know. It could just be from the tub. It could be from anywhere, actually. There's so much rust in there, you see. It could be from anywhere. It could be on that band that goes around and joins the front onto the sides. This, is it that band there? It's all rusty at the bottom, you see, so it could be that. It's not much though. Live with that as a leak. It's made 35 degrees now. Is it warmer? Maybe? Yeah, it's definitely warmer. It'll heat more slowly than usual, than it should, because it's only got one element on. Which I guess is just fair enough. I could wire it in for a 32 amp plug, because I've got a 32 amp socket in the cellar, but well, it's the same amount of energy one way or the other to heat the water, so it just does it faster. So it's not like it uses more electricity. It'll use the same amount of kilowatt hours overall. So maybe I should wire it in. It is getting hot. I'm not sure what program we're in at all. Maybe it is only on the pre-wash. Yikes. Where did the bubbles come from? Residue. Ugh. I don't know where this is going. It's just started making some funny lights. Not entirely sure what that means. Could be an error code. But it's still washing. Now, what I can't understand is, if it knows it's going to heat up, why does it not take in hot water? It has a hot water jet. Hot water feed. This is quite bizarre. So you've got a fast flash, you've got a constant, and you've got a slow flash. It could be that it's not heating fast enough. It's a possibility, maybe. So about a minute or two later, still doing this, but it's pumping out now. Wasting all that good hot water. Oh yeah, it is hot. Waste, what a waste. So it should then, I'm guessing, move on to the timer. Unless it's just on the second phase, I don't know. there are some floaters in there. It's quite steamy. There are some floaters in the water. Oh, it's stopped. Oh, it's got a drain out error now. So maybe the pump isn't pumping enough. Like, it could leave the pump open. Maybe the program time for the sluice isn't enough, although since everything's flashing now. Oh, it's trying to, I don't know what it's trying to do. Is it trying to spin? I could drain it out through the little tap down there into a basin. No idea what it's trying to do. So maybe it can't pump fast enough. Maybe it does need to be in the sluice. Although, it's hard to know. It looks like it's agitating quite aggressively now. It's really throwing the laundry down from the top to the bottom. There's a lot of flashing lights. And it's still on 50 degrees, which I don't really know what program we're in at all. I guess I could try to empty it a little bit. Does that help? Oh, we've tightened this up really tight. There we go. Oh. So if you turn it just a little bit, it lets the water out the hose. So I let out about 3 cupfuls and then I heard it filling again. So now it's filling on the main wash side with what is most certainly hot water. It says 45 now, it was at 50. That hot water will come in hotter than 45 if it keeps drawing it in. So somehow it was in a pre-wash cycle, I'm not entirely sure. It's gone up to 50 again. And there's less water in it than there was on that pre-wash, so it should be less heating, or it should heat more quickly with the same element. But this fellow here, I don't know what we're going to do about that. That agitation, it really pounds the laundry. It's getting hotter. It's at 70 now. It's come up quite quickly. I guess there's less water in it than before. I have no idea what's going on. I've said that more than once. Like, I have no idea. Separate spin. I thought that was just meant to be a spin. I think the knob's in the wrong place or something. I wonder, could I pull it off? Maybe. I guess I have to wait for this cycle to be over first. So it was at 80, jumped down to 75 for a second, it's jumped back up to 80. I don't know if it's struggling to get 95 or what, but I guess I'll just have to wait and see. Stayed at 75 for a while, now it's taking water, cold water in the pre-wash side. It's not siphoning or anything, it's just taking it on the pre-wash side. That's going to cool it down. I won't be able to feel the difference, it's too hot. I don't like all the flashing lights. I don't like all those flashing lights. Yeah, dropped it to 60. I'm not sure where it's going now. Out, hopefully. I'm fed up with it. So maybe it was another minute after that last bit. Now it's draining out.
hopefully all.
You can hear the pump running. See the water going down.
I'm guessing then we'll go into various rinses and maybe onto timed. I don't know. I gave that knob a pull off, it just comes off in your hand. I think it's okay where it is. It doesn't look like it's broken or anything. It is draining out this time, I think. Well, definitely draining out, but it's not very enthusiastic drain out. It's coming out all right. It's trying to get to spin now, but it's going to struggle to spin because of the shearing. Oh, the red light's cleared there, and it will continue to pump probably the whole time that we're spinning. So it's slower. I think it's slower than it would like to be. There we are. It's quite a like silent. It's still got water in it. It's quite a silent machine. It would be even more quiet if it had the top and front on it. It is pumping out. Yeah, it's emptied now there. So would it do a better spin than that? There it is, yeah. Let's go for it. A lot of water still coming. So with this pump now, I could rig up a washing machine drain out valve and drain out. So with a pump like this, I could rig up a washing machine waste pipe out the back of it. Instead of trying to pump it up into the sink, I could just pump it up to, well, it can't be any lower than the height of the machine, otherwise it'll siphon out, so it doesn't need to be about that, well, that high there.
It sounds like the pump's gurgling. Yeah.
So this says 60, I guess the temperature sensor's still on 60. Yeah, the pump's charging now. So it's moved on to a rinse. I think I just have to let it play out now. So that, I would say that was a 95-degree something wash. Could have been B or A. But it doesn't tally with it being off by a certain angle. like 180 degrees off or anything like that. So I was away, it's gone to its second rinse. The red lights come on again, so I think it doesn't drain fast enough with that pump. I think it has an idea in its head of how long it takes for a 2-inch pipe to open and let it all out, and that's not it. Do I want to put the old one back in? It wouldn't take me 10 minutes to put that back in. Don't know if that's the best idea or not, because as it stands it's never going to work. But I've tried it. You could just suffer that there's always a bit of water in it. It'll never work right though. Now, I have no plans to sell this because it's a proper heap. But I could sell it. So it's on the second rinse. It's just come to the point where it's pumping out again. But it does have a lot of water in it, and I'm guessing it just won't pump fast enough. What you could do is fit 2 pumps. I'm not sure how you'd have to tap in somehow, split the pipe coming down from the sump and put the second pump in beside it, which is a bit crazy. A bit silly. It's at it again where it's draining. It would like to spin, but it's shearing the water because there's still water in there, I think. So it's not pumping it out fast enough. So that's all it does for a spin between each cycle, and then it abruptly finishes itself as well. Now, the water has gone down. The light's still on, and it's going to take on water in one of these fellas now, I guess. Somewhere. So that's the starching. Is that like rinse hold or something? So if you press that, it'll wait at that point, and then you can put in your starch towards the end, and then you press the button and it starts off again. I don't know. I'm also convinced that those are some kind of error lights. Oh, maybe it is doing another spin. It is, and that light's cleared again. So it's hard to know if this pump will do it or not. I'm in between. I don't want to condemn it just yet. See how the motor speed controller is very much in control of that motor, that it doesn't just run on forever like some machines do. It does its spin and then stops. So we should jump on to some point here. It might be finished, it might be on to spin to finish it up, although the light hasn't jumped ahead yet. More water here, but also here. Don't know if that water's meant to be there. Pretty dirty in there. It looks worse on the camera. So it's on the third rinse now. I'll come back towards the end, I guess. So it's come to the end, but this light's still flashing and this light's flashing. I don't know what they mean. I don't know if I really care. If I turn that like that, it doesn't go off. So I'm hoping it will at some point. I don't know. But this light's not flashing, which suggests that ultimately it's doing okay. I don't know what we're at here. What I'm hoping is that it'll reset at some point and it'll be out by that many clicks. It's not happening. Right, I would say that's the off one. So let's try door lock. Okay. This thing, I heard it from upstairs. It was spinning really well. So now, if I try turning it, it won't come on at all with the door shut. Okay. It takes a good old whack to get it to close. I'm guessing that means on. That means on. Great. Oh, it's doing that time thing again. Oh, that's no good. See, that's just no good. Right, try off. Yeah, you see, it's doing that time thing again. I don't know what that means. So it must, when I turned it on, it must have been in a cycle. Now I don't want to wait a day before I do my H separate drain. Ooh, F, sluice, doesn't have a time. E, short program. How are you meant to add time to it actually? Because to add time to it, it must be possible to do something. I don't know what. So that's off again. And then it does the time thing. So it's going up in hours and minutes, and then it goes up in total hours. For today, I'm going to call it a success. That's a different mystery for another day, and that was where it was the last time when I left it that way. Let's leave the door open. Questions or comments, leave them below. If this video has been interesting, think about subscribing or becoming a member of the channel. I'd appreciate it. A comment is always welcome. Comments are the best, really, and liking and subscribing and comments. Thanks for watching. It's been a long day. See you later.